Snack time! Trader Joe's crispy peanut butter filled wafer sticks with raspberry fruit dip. Ooh, that's some jelly. Hey everyone, today I'm sharing 3 layout ideas based around the Gina Designs Master Layouts 10 die set, along with Trinity Stamp's Simply Sentimental Things and Fairy Trio die to create a card set trio. Gina Designs Master Layout 10 includes 2 large slimline rectangles, 2 small rectangles, 2 labels, and a stitch sentiment strip. So everything except for the sentiment strip actually comes with a plain version and then the stitch version, and mainly it's because you can mat it on each other, which is really cool. So whenever I am in a creative slump, I turn to card sketch challenges online because 1, usually there's a giveaway paired with it, so that's always fun, especially if you win. And also it will help me get outside the box and use my creative juices and see how I can incorporate my own supplies into the card sketch challenge. But with this die set, it kind of allows you just to focus on the shapes that they provide, and you can create your own challenges, and I'm doing just that. I usually pull out a blank piece of A2 cardstock, play with the shapes, and kind of figure out what I like. And although this set seems more geared towards slimline cards because they have those 2 large rectangles, you can still use it for A2 card sizes, and my preference is usually A2 card sizes. I like slimline cards. They're really fun when you have a lot of images or you have an idea that's more vertical, but I do tend to make more A2 cards generally. That's what I'm doing. I'm just kind of playing around with the dies and seeing how I want everything to look, and I decide on 3 layout ideas, and I actually have the templates for them on the Ellen Hudson blog, so if you want to check that out, I'll leave a link down below. Anytime I go into making card sets, I actually want them to be cohesive. I want to be able to use the same items so I can do everything at once, and I am ink blending 3 different panels with 3 different sets of colors. But to keep them cohesive, I'm actually using the Saltwater Taffy Distress Oxide color in every single one of them. So this is going to be the color that ties all 3 cards together, and I'm so happy with using it. I just recently got this, and it is so pretty. I tend to prefer pink and pastel colors, and I just really like this color. It's like this pretty pink corally color that is just so pretty, and it's perfect for sunsets, which is kind of what I'm going for. So my last panel is actually going to be a little bit larger because I'm using 2 of the small rectangles. I just need more surface area to cover, and that's why I'm using a larger cardstock base. And then I'll be die cutting everything out anyway. But my plan was that I wanted to ink blend some sunset skies with like little twinkly lights, and that's why I pulled out my Perfect Pearls, and then use a watercolor brush and just mix it with water and splatter it all over because it just kind of mimics the look of stars, and that's exactly what I want to do with the fairies. And don't worry, I'll be adding even more glitter at the end. Splatter kind of has a mind of its own. It goes everywhere. Some pieces are bigger than others, but it just looks really pretty, especially when it hits the light. Like here, it kind of just doesn't look like much, just looks like I have white spots on my panels, but once I hit the light, it just sparkles. Once I finish all my panels, I'll go ahead and die cut, and mostly I am using the stitched dies to cut these out. And so the first one, I'm using the first 2 cards, I'm using the large stitch rectangles, and I'm cutting them a little differently. My first one, which is the purple blue Saltwater Taffy color, is going to be a horizontal card, and then this sunset like yellow orange one will be a vertical card. Last one is going to be 2 stitch squares. So whenever I do card sets as well, I always start assembly style, and I cut everything I need so I can use it all at the same time. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just showing you all the pieces that I had cut out. I have this little organizer that holds my smaller pieces, and it just keeps me really organized. So for my first card, I'm just going to be putting it together. I'm using that large stitch rectangle and kind of offsetting it, and I'm placing it on the side of the card. And as you can see, it's pretty big, but it still works, and it kind of gives it a bit of interest. I'm also matting the large label and placing it at the bottom of my card, and that's the layout for the first card. And we'll be adding the sentiment strip to the cards at the very end. For my second card, I'm just doing the same. I'm matting this card panel right on top of a black large rectangle, and then I'm placing it onto an A2 card and matting it again. For my third card, I am matting the small rectangles on top of each other and kind of placing them like Polaroid pictures. So they're going to be overlapping, but it will look really cute. I'll be putting the sentiment at the bottom and then filling up the space with the fairies. So these are the 3 cards that I have. For the fairies themselves, after I die cut them, I pulled out Ink on 3's liquid pixie dust because I just wanted to add glitter and I didn't want to have to cut these fairies out again and kind of layer their wings with a different color. And because the liquid pixie dust is so concentrated, it kind of looks like I did go ahead and cut out a second set of fairies, cut off their wings and glue it to their wings. So I really liked how that turned out. For the sentiment strips, I kind of picked the supporting sentiments from the Trinity stamp Simply Sentimental Things, and I had planned out where I was going to put them, and most of the sentiment strips will be hanging off my card, and I just wanted it at the edge of my card because these strips are a little bit longer, so usually you pick sentiments that kind of fit in it, but I wanted to use a lot of the smaller ones because it was a supporting sentiment. So that's my first card. I put it together really quickly, just added the fairies once I put down the sentiment. For my second card, I'm doing the same thing. This time I picked a longer supporting sentiment, so it went right in the middle, but I am layering it up with the fairies, and then I'm putting the sentiment right on top. So I think the fairies are so fun. I actually don't glue down their wings, and I kind of like fluff them up so it gives it dimension. The second card is done, and I just love how it turned out. I really like that cream white space that I have on the side, and it makes the fairies really pop with the ink blended background. For my third card, I'm doing the same thing. I'm adding the sentiment at the bottom with the supporting sentiment, and this card actually only uses 2 of the fairies because it just filled out and it worked with 2 of the panels. I thought about doing something extra with the space on the top right hand corner, but I thought, you know, it was really pretty on its own. I added so much glitter, there's sparkles everywhere that I really just didn't need to. So that's it for the 3 cards, and again, I'll have the sketch templates over on the Ellen Hudson blog, so I will leave a link down below for that. And I hope you enjoyed these 3 cards, and you can use these ideas with your own supplies to create your own card set trio. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time with another video. Bye!